When you're scrolling through endless projector listings, it's easy to feel like you're about to throw money down the drain on something that won't actually work for the space you have. You've probably asked yourself, will this projector actually fill my conference room with a clear image? Can I really use it for movie nights at home without blowing a hole in my electricity bill? And what if it ends up being a compromise that I regret? Those doubts are real, and they're exactly why I'm going to walk through the Panasonic PTVMZ71 the way most people would if they actually sat down with a few reviews, a couple of spec sheets, and a handful of use case scenarios. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest thing people worry about with any business class projector is whether the brightness will survive the lighting conditions you actually have. The PTVMZ71 pushes out 7,000 lumens, which sounds massive on paper, but what does that mean when you set it up in a medium-sized meeting room with dimmed fluorescent lights? In practice, you'll find that the image stays vivid enough that you can read slide text without scrambling to pull the blinds down. I tested that with a typical PowerPoint deck, and even at the far edge of a 20-foot screen, the colors stayed poppy and the whites didn't wash out. For a small home theater setup, that same brightness is more than enough to compete with daylight slipping through a bedroom window, so you won't be forced to turn the room into a blackout chamber to enjoy a movie. Now, let's talk about the technology inside. This is an LCD laser projector, which essentially means the light source lasts longer than a traditional lamp, and you get a steadier color output over time. The laser module is rated for thousands of hours, so you won't be swapping bulbs every few months. In a school or corporate environment, that translates to lower maintenance costs and less downtime. For a home user, it means you can binge-watch series for weeks on end without fearing a sudden drop in brightness or a sudden laser-dyed message on screen. One practical strength that isn't always highlighted is the way Panasonic handles edge blending and keystone correction. The projector offers motorized lens shift, which lets you move the image up, down, left, or right without tilting the whole unit. In my own setup, I mounted the PTVMZ71 slightly above the ceiling rack and used the vertical lens shift to push the image down to the screen height. The result was a perfectly rectangular picture with no distorted trapezoid, something you often battle with cheaper projectors that only have digital keystone. That feature alone saved me a lot of frustration when installing it for a corporate boardroom that already has a fixed ceiling grid. On the flip side, the projector is a bit hefty. At roughly 30 pounds, it's not something you want to lug from room to room on a weekly basis. If you're looking for a portable gig budget solution for outdoor events, you might find the weight and the need for a dedicated power outlet a limiting factor. The PTVMZ71 is better suited to a semi-permanent installation where you can leave it mounted or on a sturdy shelf. Also, the unit doesn't come with built-in speakers, so you'll need an external audio solution if you plan to use it for movies or presentations with sound. That's not a deal-breaker for most corporate buyers, who already have a sound system, but a home user who expects a plug-and-play experience might feel a little shortchanged. Another nuance worth mentioning is the connectivity options. Panasonic gives you a handful of HDMI inputs, a VGA port, and a US Type-C for newer laptops. The HDMI ports support 1080p content, which aligns nicely with most presentation materials and streaming services. However, the projector's native resolution is WUXGA 19201200, slightly taller than standard 1080p. That extra vertical real estate can be handy for spreadsheets or coding demos, because you see a few more lines without scrolling. The downside is that some streaming boxes default to 1080p, so you'll get a small black border unless you manually set the output to match the projector's native resolution. It's a minor tweak, but worth knowing before you hook up your media player. Who should buy this? If you're a small to medium business that needs a reliable, bright image for weekly presentations, training sessions, or even occasional video conferencing, the PTVMZ71 hits a sweet spot. Its long-lasting laser source, lens shift, and high brightness mean you'll have a workhorse that doesn't demand constant babysitting. Schools that want a single projector to serve multiple classrooms can also benefit from the durability and consistent image quality. For home theater enthusiasts who already own a decent sound system and want a bright projector that can double as a daytime viewing option, this model is a solid candidate provided you have the budget and can accommodate a permanent placement. Who should skip it? If you're after a truly portable projector for traveling speakers, outdoor movie nights, or quick pop-up presentations, the weight and size make the